So I find this fascinating, guys. Bruno Fernandes, aged 30 years old. Could he be going to the Saudi Pro League for a record fee to Manchester United? I've spoken about this recently, how he is like levels above all the other players. And I even made a video not too long ago saying, will he regret spending his prime at Manchester United? Well, this is interesting because the Saudi Pro League isn't necessarily for, with the greatest respect, sporting integrity. Now, I've been very firm. The Saudi culture, footballing culture, is there, and it's long been there. And when I had, like many people, criticisms of the World Cup being held in Qatar, building all these stadiums for an insane amount of money, then just to bring them down because there's no football culture there. And of course, the controversy behind the money in Qatar and, winning the bid. I always said Saudi Arabia's got an excellent footballing culture, but the competitiveness is very, very low. We know that. It's still ranked, not in the top 30 leagues in the world. You go there not for testing yourself on a sporting level. That's just simply the case, So when I thought Bruno Fernandes might leave Man United, I thought it would be for a really competitive top European team where he could win more trophies, where he could probably be in just a more, like, the Man United have just been a basket case for so long, and it must be exhausting, especially as the captain. Just going to a club that's just got everything in order, no mega constant controversy. Of course, Man United are the biggest club in England. It comes with that. And when you're as bad as Man United have been, it's a recipe for disaster. So, yeah, I was always speculating, and I wondered, and I theorized, would he regret? But also, there is the element of just the allure of insane money. Of course, the guy's 30 years old. He has won trophies at Man United. He's won 2 domestic cups, and almost certainly, for my money, will win a European trophy this season with them. It's not awful. And would he take the bag? And the real question here, guys, is should Man United take the bag? And Manchester United, who are in financial disarray, if you are to believe new, minority shareholder Ineos Jim Ratcliffe saying, we're screwed, we need money, we can't do anything, we've laid off hundreds and hundreds of people, we're not feeding them anymore, we're going to have to sell Mainu and Garnacho, we're poor. Yeah, that guy. We're going to get into it today and speculate and talk about the news about Al Hilal, the Saudi Pro League club. Really into Bruno Fernandes. Guys, welcome back to Football Yannick. Multiple daily videos here, of course. Reacted last night to an incredible Champions League game, Inter Barca. I'll probably do the same tonight if I get a chance, if it's not too late, for PSG and Arsenal. So thank you for all the new subscribers. I'm getting quite a lot now. I'm very, very pleased. It's kind of already road to 20,000 subs, which is superb. So thank you for liking and subscribing. All right, so I'm just going to quickly read something off Football 365 here for some further context, friends. Saudi Pro League club Al Hilal have reportedly identified Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes as their, quote, top target and have offered him a 3-year deal. And so that would see him to 33, and I imagine he will get paid a lot of money. Not hard to speculate that. He's probably on decent money at United, but peas we're talking about here. So Fernandes did sign a new deal at Man United last August. By some distance, their best player this season. Yeah, he's been excellent, yeah. There was a bit of a transition under Ruben Amorim after he replaced Erik ten Hag in November. But since the turn of the year, the 30-year-old has been absolutely superb. Yeah, he has been. I've said that. He remains United's most influential player and has worn the captain's armband since July 2023 when he ripped off the arm of Harold Maguire. Yeah, kind of makes sense. Amorim's side would obviously prefer to keep their star man and skipper, but they could be tempted to sell for the right price, while Fernandes himself may be swayed by a lucrative offer, especially given his age and the uncertainty at Old Trafford. Pretty much everything I've just said. Man United are a basket case, and he might want them peas. It's unclear how eager Amorim's side would be to part with the Portuguese international, who of course fits the profile of players being targeted aggressively by the Saudi Pro League clubs. Yeah, in terms of him at United, Amorim will be in an interesting position because he will be asked about this by the United hierarchy. Because there will be money. It depends. If the money can be completely reinvested into 3 good players, it might be very tempting. Because Bruno's 30, he is so influential though. But there's also a philosophical argument that actually has been put to Man United fans, in the media generally for a long time. Is it really healthy in the way to have this main character and play hero ball? It often raises the level, and it's a lot of stress and pressure on one guy. And there's 2 ways to look at it. One is it's nice for the player, he gets more numbers, but it's pressure for the player. But it's nice for the team that don't have to share the burden. But the truth is, really great teams, it just work. You can trust this. The trust is spread. Again, I always reference my club that I support, Chelsea. We looked quite a lot like Cole Palmer FC, and it's a lot better when you're sharing the load and you can trust the system and defense. And fortunately for Chelsea, touch wood, lately we've been defending as a team, but attacking as a team. And let's talk about freaking Inter yesterday. The team won that game, not a superstar. Let's talk about PSG. PSG have since become good because the individuals have gone. It's a team. You could say an Ousmane Dembele is important, or it's not like this. It's not like Bruno Fernandez FC. So there is an argument that some good can come from alleviating yourself from that, and spreading the load and becoming a better collective team. Whether Ruben Amorim will see that or not, I'll be very interested to learn. Of course, Portuguese countryman, a captain as well, so there'll be that stronger connectivity with Bruno, one would assume. But also, he's with all those points I've just made, I'm not talking about a 26-year-old. I'm talking about a guy now in his 30s. It's a very interesting thought exercise, you'd have to say, yeah? Yeah. So Saudi Pro League teams have focused on high profile, peak age, I'll argue a bit past peak age, to raise the league's profile. It's interesting. Look, man, I haven't watched a single Saudi Pro League game. I think I watched the cup final once because it was on the afternoon a year or 2 ago. And there was no other football on, it was just on. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. I got nothing against it. But I've no allure to watch Saudi Pro League games, personally. We'll see how it changes in the future. So according to transfer expert Ben Jacobs writing for Give Me Sport, the United captain has a 3-year contract offer on the table from Al Hilal, who have already snapped up Neymar, who of course has gone back to Brazil, Ruben Neves, massive get for them because he was still quite young, Alexander Mitrovic, all in that summer window. The report claims Al Hilal, why do they, because it's the league, isn't it the public investment fund, or it's the country, it's the state, it's the league that pay for these superstars. But why are they just juicing Al Hilal? Of course, Al Nassr got Ronaldo and a couple of others, but I swear Al Hilal is the one that gets all of them. And apparently they do put money lower down to other ones, but you still get what's the one that is it Al Ettifaq that Benzema and N'Golo Kante plays for? But I swear Al Hilal is the one that gets all the juice. The report claims Al Hilal are, back in the story, are ready to make a record-breaking offer to sign Bruno Fernandes, who is their top target. Okay, so the Saudi giants have previously set aside funds to move for Mo Salah. Yeah, they've been chasing Salah for so long. Of course, now he's signed a new Liverpool deal. They're focusing on Man United captain Bruno Fernandes. They have reportedly a staggering 510, over $500 million to spend on a marquee signing, with 170 million per season on wages alone. Hold on. Guys, I can't do the math, but I think it's over £3 million per week. I've just paused it. I can't... Is it over £3 million per week? What? Go, Bruno, go! Build a city. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a musician and a football content creator. I am not a mathematician. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but 170 million pounds per season. Oh my god. A move for Fernandez could contribute to a record amount in the summer. However, there are conflicting claims around a potential £60 million release clause in Fernandez's contract. While some reports suggest a clause exists, United have been quick to downplay this, insisting no official release clause is in play. Well, if Man United have made a statement about that, and they can't lie, surely. That said, Al Hilal reportedly understand there to be a threshold and informal price point above. Look, United are in a tight spot. Yeah, by the way, all this information is coming from football365.com, so by a guy called Jason Suter, so don't at me, yeah. Man United are in a tight financial spot. If it's so as a record fee, let's just say, for instance, so Chelsea hold the current record for Moises Caicedo at £115 million, Premier League record, of course, not a European one, because like Neymar and Mbappe, etc., etc. 150. So let's just say 120 million pounds. Again, he's 30 years old. There is an argument that there is an argument that maybe they could get better with more team rebuild rather than main character syndrome, hero ball. I'm not criticizing Bruno Fernandes or his performances. He's been amazing. He's doing the right thing. It's a thought exercise. It's a philosophical question. Yeah. So would they do better? So they get 120 million, right? So that's three 40 million pound players. Like when you spend good, considering they're spending like a few million quid on Dorgu and starting him. So right, you can buy sensible, none of the silly buggers, 80 million quid on freaking Rasmus Højlund now. No, sensible, well scouted, thought out purchases. 3 40 million pound players, and Mason Mount's fit now. Ruben Amorim loves him. You might sell other players as well to make a bit more cash. Maybe they buy with other sales 4 starters for Ruben Amorim's side. Is that worth it? Remember, he's 30 years old. He's 30 years old, Bruno Fernandes. It's definitely an interesting thought exercise. Excuse me. Of course, there is an underlying unsavory element of this, like a wider question, like Saudi literally just trying to muscle in on football, pay obscene, vulgar amounts of money to try. I don't want to be too judgmental because although I don't like it personally, I do understand the greater, wider ramifications of this, of Saudi trying to diversify revenue away from like fossil fuels and all this kind of stuff. Like I get it. Do you know what I mean? But just sort of, in a way, there's a lot of positive progression stuff in Saudi, and Westernification or whatever the word is, and fine. But I don't want to be too traditionalist, but it's not really my bag. Do you know what I mean? Let me know what you think, though. Comment down below. Thank you, as always, for joining me. Thank you for liking. Hey, thanks for subscribing. Road to 17,000 for the moment. Wonderful stuff. All right, mate. See you back here very soon because I'm uploading all the time. All right, peace.